Welcome to Punch TV. Well, this is our do-it-yourself episode because prairie creativity, like our horizon, knows no boundaries. And today we have some brothers and sisters who are doing it for themselves. They are making great stuff with cross-stitch, with metal, with movies, you name it. People are showing their creativity and letting it shine. So we have so much in store for you today. I'm super excited. We've got Shelby Smith from Danger Pirate Designs. We're going to show you how to make your own displays kind of pop a little bit more. We've also got Colin Wilms, who has stupendously amazing artistic sculpture that Tony was actually drooling over. And finally, we have Tyler Baptist and John Vaughn, who are making the movie scene better in Saskatchewan by their own sweat and labor. So stay tuned. There's so much in store today. I have a special guest in the studio, Shelby Smith of Danger Pirates Designs. Today, Tony gets to ooh and ah over Star Wars stuff. Well, I get to ooh and ah over all this beautiful embroidery, soft, sweet stuff. So, Shelby, thank you for joining us in the studio today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit, how did you get started doing this? Have you always been a crafter?
I dabble. I've always tried different things, but my grandma moved out of her home years back, and she used to do a lot of cross stitch. And when she moved, she gave me boxes and boxes of embroidery floss. So obviously, the only thing I could do with it was embroider a predator pillow. So that was the first thing I did. Yeah,
right?
Obviously. Yeah. But it took me close to 79 hours to complete. And then I started on, a couple of different ones. And my husband just said to me, Shelby, you have to find a faster way to do this if you want to make it a business. So from there, I discovered you can actually have a sewing machine that does it for you, which is really nice.
Sweet.
So that's kind of how it all spiraled, and now it's become my passion and my hobby and my job all combined into one. So
it's amazing. The work that you do, that Bowie pillow is stupendous. And I really love this. Tell me about this piece up front here that is a very unique art piece.
Well, it's the stage of my son where he hit kind of the soulless eye animal drawing. So it's kind of terrifying to have on the wall, but it's beautiful. Basically what happened was one Christmas I was running out of ideas for the grandparents. And so my son had just kind of gotten into drawing, and I decided to turn his drawings into an embroidery project. And the first project I did was on tea towels, and I had a whole bunch of them done. And then my daughter was born, and he wanted to draw a picture for her. So this is one of his cat pieces with a sun and a moon that he drew for his little sister.
It's adorable. So you come up with crazy ideas and cool stuff. You make plushies, you make embroidery pieces, and now you offer the opportunity for other people to do custom pieces too. Is that right?
Yeah. Anything from, I've done kids writing where it was their first time writing I love you to their mom and dad, and so I've embroidered that on pillowcases. And I do things like poems that people have written for their kids or for their parents, just random drawings that people have done, and then anything from the TARDIS explosion was actually a custom piece that I had done for a vinyl chair to have put onto a chair at Hidden Stitch, and so that was where the design came from. And so a lot of the pieces are custom, and then I'm able to reproduce them afterward, which is nice and a lot better than spending 79 hours never being able to reproduce it again. So,
well, exactly. And the theme of today's show is kind of DIY, do it yourself, but not everybody has mad skills like you do. So it's really cool that they can, utilize like this amazing technology of your super sewing machine and transform their ideas into something that, they can give as like the most personal, amazing gift ever.
Yeah, well, and you can even get names done too, which personalizes it even further, or even a quotation around a picture. And so it is a way, it's nice to make Christmas and birthdays more personal, Mother's Day gifts and everything.
Cool. So do you do like a lot of craft fairs and stuff, or how do you get your stuff into like people's minds? Like how do you advertise your stuff?
Facebook is a huge help. I mean, when it's being helpful, they try to kind of interfere with a lot of the page promotion, but I do a lot of shows. I did a farmer's market last year in Martinsville, and so there was a lot of business card handing out and everything, and then orders came from that. But basically, I jump on shows when I can. Right now, my husband is in university and my 2 kids are at home, so they kind of come when they work, but it's not that often. So I try to take on as many as I can, but for the most part, it seems like Facebook ordering is the way that I run. So.
Well, it's nice that you have a job that obviously you're passionate about, and that also kind of accommodates the needs of your family too.
Yes, yeah. I don't get as much sleep as I'd like. I mean, my crafting time is basically kids are in bed at 8 o'clock, run down the stairs and start working, and then, oh, it's midnight, let's go back to bed, and I will wake up tomorrow and try to do it again. So
awesome. Well, keep up the great work. We love what you're doing. The stuff is awesome. With our last moment, tell people where they can find your stuff.
Well, I'm on Facebook is where my page is. It is www.facebook.com/dangerpiratesdesigns. I also take email orders, or they can find me May 7th outside of Hague at the Everything Country Market sale.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate you coming here today.
Thanks.
All right. Okay. So we've talked about collections on the show before, and I'm here to talk a little bit about how you can give your collections a bit more pizzazz, very simply. So, for example, the pop figures, very popular right now. The boxes are pretty cute. You can certainly just put them on the shelf together and they look okay, but with a little bit of elbow grease and a very little bit of time, you can really dress them up. Voila. So, for example, the Rusted Development, I took a frame and then I just got a picture printed off, put it in the back and put everybody in front, and it creates a little diorama that gives some scope and certainly adds more character, I think, to the whole display. And then for my fabulous Mr. Fox, I love that movie so much. It is so rich. And I didn't think that the boxes really gave it enough oomph, so I really wanted to take them out because they had lots of little accessories and stuff, so I just put them in front of the tree. So pretty awesome. Finally, Bob's Burgers. So love Bob's Burgers, big fan of the comic, big fan of the show, and I really wanted to give it a little something extra. So all I did was I went online and just kind of tried to find some pictures, and I came across this, which is a paper craft. It was done by one of the designers and artists at Bento Box who originated Bob's Burgers. His name is Anthony Aguinaldo, and he's done a couple of different covers for the comic book as well. He has a Deviant art page called This Is Anton, and he created this. So all I did was have this printed out. I did it in 2 different sizes, and then I just took my little scissors and I cut it out, and then I used a ruler and an X-Acto knife to get into the little nicks and crannies, and then also to just score along the lines where it was going to be folded. And then, yeah, all you do is just fold away, fold away, fold away, and you just like glue it together, and it looks like that. And how awesome is that? It really took me about an hour to cut everything out, glue everything up. I just got a piece of cardboard, printed off the Bob's Burgers logo, and then just painted that black, stuck that on, hour tops. And the nice thing about this too is that if you are a stickler who wants to keep the boxes, you can hide everything in behind. So just keeps your displays looking neat and clean, and you can still have access to those boxes if you decide down the road that you want to sell them or give them away or whatever your heart desires. But you can make great displays very, very simply for yourself. You can buy stuff. Lego makes this great cool case for little guys, which is pretty fabulous, and they're stackable. And Pop does make an individual case where you can just slip the box like right into the acrylic case, or you can put just the character in there too, and they really look nice, and they will protect them from dust and whatnot. That's one disadvantage of these displays, is that they can get a little dusty, but hey, you get to play with your toys, and that's a win as far as I'm concerned. So That's just a little DIY for you punch folks. Hopefully you will take my advice and make your displays pop.
Punch TV is brought to you in part by Amazing Stories, providing Saskatoon with comics, games, toys, graphic novels, t-shirts, and more for over 22 years. Online at AmazingStoriesComics.com, in person on 8th Street in Saskatoon.
Hello, punchers! It's me, Hank, and today I want to tell you a tale about a mouse who went for a walk in the deep, dark wood, and a fox saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. Where are you going to, little brown mouse? Come and have lunch in my underground house. Oh, that's terribly kind of you, Fox, but no! I'm gonna have lunch with a gruffalo. A gruffalo? What's a gruffalo? A gruffalo? Why, didn't you know? He's got terrible tusks and terrible claws and terrible teeth in his terrible jaws. He's got knobbly knees, turned out toes, and a poisonous wart at the end of his nose. His eyes are orange, his tongue is black, and he's got purple prickles all over his back. Oh, help! How do I know the words to this story? Because I have told my son the tale of the gruffalo 3,422 times in the past month. And the crazy thing about the more I tell the story of the gruffalo, the sweeter it gets. It is a sweet story, and today on Tweet Beat, I am going to be talking about a few of the things that I get to rock out to with the kids that make me an awesome dad. All right. The gruffalo, a hungry, misleading mouse, uses a convenient, terrible beast to help find the perfect picnic spot. Hashtag faster than Papa Bear. The Jungle Book, now in theaters. Luther kills Gus Fring and a man cub with the help of his friends Herman Bloom and Archibald Snatcher rallied the jungle to avenge his death. 82 out of 100. Nancy Drew and the Clue Crew. Scream for Ice Cream by Carolyn Keene. 8-year-old Nancy and her pals save the day again and again and again and again and again. The Boy Who Cried Ninja by Alex Latimer. Tim's family thinks he's telling lies. Joke's on them. There's a time-traveling monkey and it's in their living room. Hashtag buy it, read it, love it. So that about wraps up this segment of Tweet Beat. For all of you awesome mums and awesome dads and awesome grandparents and awesome everybody out there, this month a great thing for you to do would be to tweet at Hank and Kelso and at Shaw Punch TV and tell us, what books are you reading your kids? What movies are you taking them to? What TV shows have you watched with them over and over and over and over again? We want to know. Tweet us. I will see you next time on Tweet Beat. Gruffalo.
My name is Tony Anslick, and welcome to The Collector. Hi, welcome to The Collector. I'm here with my friend Colin Wilms, and we are talking about the art that he does, and it is amazing. It looks like, Colin, you spent a lot of time making arts out of metal.
Well, yeah, and it actually, some people have asked if this is my occupation, and it's not.
Okay, yeah, you actually have
I actually have a daytime job. Yeah. I wear a suit and a tie, and but I grew up on a farm, so that's kind of where this all kind of came about. And I've always been kind of handy, so I like creating things. And some people have told me I should have actually been an engineer. So,
This is amazing. I've never seen anything that like this at all. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm like in love with your pieces. How do you start off deciding what you're going to build and how you're going to build it?
Well, what was the first one? I think the Falcon there in the front. My stepdaughter had got her brakes done, and she asked if I wanted the old parts, and I said sure, might as well bring them over. And they sat in the corner of my garage for about 6 months, and then the new Star Wars movie was coming out, and there was all this hype, and I was moving stuff around in my workshop, and I saw it, and I thought it kind of looks like the Millennium Falcon a little bit, so I took the main body of it is a disc rotor, like a brake rotor off of a car, and the front pieces are the brake pads. And so that's kind of how I laid it on my workbench, and I thought, well, this could possibly work. And then I have just miscellaneous stuff, and I just piece it all together till it kind of looks the way I want it.
Okay, the biggest thing I realized when you're talking, you said you just started this when you heard about the new movie coming out. So this isn't something you've been doing for like the last 5 years. This is all fairly new for you.
Yeah, so my wife usually goes to bed at about 9 o'clock, and I'm not a 9 o'clock to bed kind of person. So I thought, I need to do something a little bit more creative with my time than just watching TV and playing video games. Yeah. So I thought, and I grew up on a farm, so I've built some furniture, and I've done sketching and watercolor painting, and I have a welder, and I used to watch Orange County Choppers, and they used to fabricate these bikes, motorcycles, and I thought, oh, that'd be so cool. So anyway, I thought, well, I should use my welder and start, so it's kind of evolved from there, but I've only been doing this maybe for about just a little over a year.
Wow. So, okay, this looks like this takes a long time. How long does it take to build a piece then? Because starting from designing it to finding the pieces, is it a long time? Are you spending like hours and hours a week on it?
Oh no, it's I'm always thinking about stuff. So if I'm driving, or if I'm sitting there drinking my coffee, I'll have a sketch pad and I'll just, doodle some stuff out, or I'll see something, or I'll see a commercial, or I'm flipping through the flyers. I go through the flyers every Saturday morning, and I'll see something. I'm like, oh, toys, like some of the Star Wars toys. So I just see something that catches my eye, and I think, oh, I could probably make that. So
are you using recycled metal for some of it then, and then finding metal for?
Some of it is like the. So the sandcrawler, I thought it'd be really cool to make the sandcrawler, and I was going through again the flyers on a Saturday morning, and I saw they had these military ammunition boxes, and I thought, that's almost the right shape.
Yeah.
So I picked it up like surplus, and I had some sheet metal, and I just kind of mocked up the front end, and I got some heavy chain. I spent a lot of time in the home building stores and the auto parts stores, and I wander like a zombie, and they probably think I'm the craziest guy because I'm the only person there in a suit and tie walking around looking at all this stuff.
Looking at pieces.
So some of it's new, and some of it is recycled.
It's amazing. So you're starting out. Are you actually now, if you're designing it, are you actually writing things down or having little blueprints, or are you just like, I'm going to do this, and you add things? And
So I usually do a sketch, and so I have a kind of idea. I want to try and get it relatively, in scale. So I have to kind of, mock things up, and I'll put some measurements on just the height and size and width, just so it's, relatively accurate.
Okay. And you work out of your garage then? Home?
So I'm fortunate. Our house has two garages. So there's her garage and his garage, and so my garage is the more cool garage.
That's awesome. That is super awesome.
That's where all the magic happens.
The biggest thing that I see here is all Star Wars. Are you building anything else other than Star Wars now, or?
I was doing all kinds of like metal trees with copper leaves, and I built this really cool, it was a little Viking. I was walking through one of the home decor stores, and I saw this wooden boat, and I thought, it looks like a Viking ship. And I make these little, bicycle chain guys, the Vikings, with the horns and the swords and the axes, and I made this boat, and I've done like wall hangings, like a print. One's the Eiffel Tower, and I brought out all the structural beams and stuff to make it three-dimensional.
Oh yes, I saw pictures of that. Now, are you like on a Facebook page now, or like?
Yeah, and again, this is just more of a hobby than anything. But my wife set up a Facebook page. It's Chain Gang Workshop, all one word, and the Chain Gang came out of the. Because I started doing the bicycle chain because it was easy to work with. Yeah. And so that's kind of where the name came from. So,
are you, go back to Star Wars. Are you a huge Star Wars fan? Is that where this comes from originally then? Or are you just like winging it, thought it would be fun to do some Star Wars?
I still remember the day I went to see the very first Star Wars movie. downtown when it first came out, and I thought it was the most amazing thing in the world. So yeah, I have been. So I was pretty jazzed about the new movie when it was coming out.
Now, are you a collector of Star Wars stuff as well now, or are you just like this is a collection of art? This is an amazing collection of art. I can't believe that you're actually selling these items.
Well, yeah, I just like creating things, but you only have so much space in your home or office or wherever you have.
Oh no,
stuff,
you can find space.
I'm having a problem. I'm having a problem now because clients come to my office.
You can find space for stuff. Trust me.
Well, I try and rotate it around, but I have clients come to my office and I've got stuff around, and I'm trying to talk to them, and they're looking at all the things, and they're like, "Oh wow!"
So it's quite distracting when
it
people come to
is.
your
So I have
office,
to kind of keep it, down to it.
Okay, right now, is there a place that people can go and see your arts right now?
Well, I've had them at different places. I have this stuff. It's going to be at Unreal City downtown, and it was in the front display window. So if anyone has any questions,
how long are you going to have it at the
until they get tired of having it there,
let's
or
hope it's there
until
for a long time, so people can come see it. That'd be
or
awesome.
until it sells out, I guess.
Awesome. And where can they find out what things are worth and the price of items so they can buy them? Because I want to buy stuff. So where can we find out?
It's actually, it's one thing I haven't posted the prices on my Facebook page. I'll probably do that now because there seems to be more demand for it. So I thought I better step it up a notch.
Once people see more and more of this stuff, it's amazing. Colin, thank you very much for coming on today.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Really appreciate you coming down to the studio. We'll be right back with the Movie Geek.
Punch TV is brought to you in part by Amazing Stories, providing Saskatoon with comics, games, toys, graphic novels, t-shirts, and more for over 22 years. Online at AmazingStoriesComics.com, in person on 8th Street in Saskatoon.
Welcome back to Punch TV. I'm Craig Silliphant, the Movie Geek, and normally Jody and I might talk about movies that are happening right around this time, but instead we've got a couple of really special guests today. A couple of friends of mine, John Vaughn and Tyler Baptist from Videonomicon. Now, rather than me explain what Videonomicon is, why don't you guys, Tyler?
Well, it is a releasing company that actually used to be a video store as well. Unfortunately, the video store aspect has closed down for about a year now, but we're out there to put out the weird and wonderful world of home video.
Right, so I know you do some DVD releases, but this initially started as like a VHS releasing project, so some people might not be surprised to learn that that's still a thing. Some people might. What is the market right now for VHS stuff?
It's still a very niche market, much like the cassette market. It's definitely nowhere near vinyl for analog formats, but yeah, it's a niche market, and it's just something that both John and I have a very fondness for. Not just I guess they like looking back in time kind of thing, but rather we actually enjoy the format for what it is.
Right, and so why?
We believe that it should be kept still alive. We have a fondness for the actual quality of the format and how the format allows various independent artists and filmmakers to craft their movies, And there's a lot of films that have been made throughout from recent to older times on the VHS format, which are very interesting. It's still used. We're here to keep it alive. Well, and I know there's still there's a lot of content. I mean, I grew up in the 80s, 70s and 80s, 80s, I guess, when most of this stuff was rolling out. And there's a lot of stuff now that never made the transfer to DVD or Blu-ray or digital.
Yep.
So maybe some of these gems, maybe some other stuff that's more well-known even, that, never quite... is in danger of not existing anymore, basically. So is that sort of part of the mandate as well?
Most definitely.
So how did you guys meet and sort of come up with the idea that you wanted to do this together?
We met through probably the music scene originally.
Yeah. I think the first time we met was actually at one of my shows. Tyler threw a T-shirt at me from across the room as a sort of hello. And everything took off from there, and we've been collecting together. We've been on some trips together, collecting movies. We go around to the small towns and to the small video stores that are finally selling off. And we've pulled hundreds and hundreds of tapes from across Canada to make our collections.
Yep.
So when you're looking for a Videonomicon release, like how does that process work?
It's just basically we come up with a list of titles that we'd like to resurrect eventually, and seek out the rights owners and try and get them to will us to put it out.
Yeah.
So maybe we should look at a couple of the titles, actually. One of the ones, actually, that we should point out is Ryan's Babe, which was shot right here in Saskatoon. Can you actually, Tyler has a great story about sort of how this movie came to be released by Videonomicon. You literally, and I don't use that word lightly, you literally saved it from the trash.
Exactly, yeah. A production company I'd worked for, we were moving locations and we were throwing out a bunch of tapes and stuff like that we no longer use because we did a bunch of dubbing for education, etc. And I had just thrown a box into the big bin out back, and this videotape of the bunch of like nameless tapes stuck out, and it was this movie, Ryan's Babe, that was a movie that I actually auditioned for when I was 12 for the part of young Ryan and did not get the part, so I was heartbroken. And I just heard it was terrible. So I had to see it, so I took it home, watched it, and it absolutely blew my mind. Like, it was so entertaining, and like it's bad, but it's so good.
Which we should probably point out, really, too. I mean, is I've seen most of these movies, and that's kind of the point of some of it, right? Is that it's like so bad, it's fun. I mean, Science Crazed is another one. Our lovely host Jody from Punch TV here, I think, is permanently scarred after watching that one. But which each of your guys' favorite title from the Videonomicon library?
I definitely have a 2-way tie for me. It's definitely both Ryan's Babe and Science Crazed. And I think, John, yours is definitely...
I would say I appreciate Ryan's Babe, and I also just want to say that it's, you might kind of classify with it in a context of so bad it's good, but often that is because there's kind of a lack of effort, and that's kind of funny. But that is not the case with Ryan's Babe, because this is an action-packed thriller.
Yep.
It
Shot
is.
on film.
It's fast-paced. It's got lots of
definitely
drama.
For sure.
And the people actually show conviction within the film, which is important. And that's why it's funny.
Well, and I think, if I remember correctly, after we screened the two of them, between Jody and I and some friends, like Ryan's Babe is like Citizen Kane compared to like Science Crazed, basically. Like, they actually try. You could see that there was probably a script there at some point, and it's just the resources they had. And
it's hard to even compare them, though, because they're two totally different works of art made for two totally different contexts, too. Like, I mean, with Science Crazed, it's like Ryan's Babe is a movie with a script, with a story, with characters, and as most films are. But Science Crazed, it takes all this and obscures it all. So we are not sure whether this is a normal story with normal characters in it, and we still don't know. This film is actually a genuine mystery to us and everybody that sees it. And it, as one of our people said, like, you cannot walk away from it unscarred.
And that should be on the poster. So that's about all the time we have for this segment. We will come back after these messages, but thank you so much, Tyler Baptist, John Vaughn from Videonomicon, and you can check out these titles at videonomicon.com.
Or pick them up at Unreal City.
Or pick them up at Unreal City in town here, and I urge you to grab some friends and have a fun movie night and check it out. So we'll be back after these messages.
Punch TV is brought to you in part by Amazing Stories, providing Saskatoon with comics, games, toys, graphic novels, t-shirts, and more for over 22 years. Online at AmazingStoriesComics.com, in person on 8th Street in Saskatoon.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Punch TV. We hope we gave you a little inspiration to get crafting. Really want to thank Shelby Smith, Colin Wilms, Tyler Baptist, and John Vaughn for coming on the set today and strutting their stuff. And of course, thank you to you for tuning in. Keep your dukes up.
awesome. I love your stuff more than you'll ever know because it's amazing.
Cool.
Thank you for watching this segment. We'll be right back with the collector. Let's do that again. Let's do the shake again. Let's go back to me on the collector.